First and foremost, you need to obtain some straws. The straws that I have here are from your local fast food joint, McDonald's. Now, there's a few things to be said for different straws. I'm going to let you know. Let's assume you have McDonald's straws. They're going to come inside of a white wrapper, which if you get in close, this is just a random straw, you'll notice is barely glued together. You'll normally find the corners are not perfectly together. You can see that on either side. Let me show you on this side as well. That's just a regular one. Nothing's been done to it. Now, step one, you're going to carefully and slowly peel this open. Nice and easy. A little bit of rippage is no big deal. There we go, done. I'm going to open this up. I'm going to pull the straw out. You need a lighter. Now, I need to give words of warning. 2 words of warning. Penguin Magic is not responsible if you do not follow these rules. Always do this in a well-ventilated area. Always outdoors. Maybe in a garage if the garage door is open. Never do this inside. There's going to be fumes from burning the straw. This is incredibly important. Second, anytime you use fire, use caution. If you're younger, please have your parents with you or somebody over the age of 18. We're not responsible for anything you do. So you're going to use fire. You're going to burn this straw. Now, this is very important how you do it. You can take the straw out completely. It doesn't matter if you do. Leave the wrapper intact. For the McDonald's straws, there's a red stripe and there's a yellow stripe. What you want to do is land kind of in between. I've always found that's the best. Doesn't matter if you burn a little bit in between. Here's what you're going to be doing. You're going to light. I like to light a little bit to the right or to the left. Doesn't matter if you flip it around, but of the middle. I don't do it right in the middle. And watch, you can see it's starting to burn. Keep the lighter a little bit further away, and it's going to start to melt. Open. Blow on it and quickly push this in. It's going to be a little bit hot. Push them in. Blow on it for it to cool. If this gets too bent, sometimes it'll just bend right up. What you do is you light it again, ever so slightly. Rebend it the way it's supposed to go and blow on it. It's going to cool down. That'll straighten it right out. Next step is going to be to place this straw back in. It's very important how you place this back in. Notice how there's the liner where it's reattached. You want the burnt end facing not towards the liner but towards up. Like if this is the liner and you're going all the way around, you want it either facing up on this side or this side. Don't have it facing away from the liner. Push it back in. Just like so. Close it back up. Grab yourself a glue stick of Elmer's. I recommend making up a few of these at the same time. Now, there's also a way to do this completely 100% impromptu, just hopping into the bathroom when you're at a restaurant and setting it up right there. I'm going to teach you that next. You're going to take the glue stick, and you're just going to apply a little bit of glue. You do this at home beforehand, all the way around. Do it nice and quick on both sides. Honestly, once you've done this 2 or 3 times, you'll be doing them in less than a minute. Open, pull out, make like a dozen up at once. Done deal. I'm now going to squeeze this together. Good as new. Good as new. You're done. I recommend just holding it for maybe another 10 seconds, just to be sure. And now you're all set. That's a sealed straw. Now, come on in. From looking at it, it's almost impossible to tell where that is. I know where it is by feeling. Boom, it's right there. You can see the little indentation. Now, when performing this, it's very important to notice your circumstances. This is a circumstance trick that is absolutely critical. What I mean by circumstances, I do not recommend just pulling out a straw saying, watch this. This isn't as much of a strolling magic effect unless you're in an area where straws are common and it makes sense, which is pretty much any restaurant, any cocktail party, anybody's house. They'll have straws in general. Just look around. You want to make this seem off the cuff. This is awesome if you're at a bar or a restaurant or you're with your family and you can make one of these and load it in. That's the perfect way to do it, 100% perfect way. Load it into a jar and then you reach in and just grab out a straw and say, watch this. Now for the performance. The key psychological factors of this that you want them to remember is they picked a straw, they touched a straw, they told you where to stop, they pointed, they felt the straw themselves, it was solid, they touched one area, And that's the exact area where you put your finger and melted the straw while it was 100% sealed. All 4 of those factors: sealed straw, they inspected it, they chose where you burned it. That's what you want them to remember. That's what they're going to go away thinking, and they're going to think you're a miracle worker. How do you make each one of those points work? Well, for the first point, it is sealed. That's easy. You've already sealed. It's 100% sealed. Drop it in their hand. There's nothing to worry about. They can look at it. I wouldn't focus on it too much. Don't say, look, it's a sealed straw. Of course it's a sealed straw. Next, I'll take it out when I see it, and watch this. I'm going to rub my fingers back and forth, just very casually. As I move back and forth, I'm going to feel where that is. I know where it is, right there. Feel, I just felt it. Now, for the next portion, I'm going to have them hold their finger out, and I'm going to show them. And I'm going to grab their finger, and I'm going to say, put it on the straw. And this is the top side of the straw. The indentation is over here, the burnt section. So they can move their finger, if you're holding it, back and forth, and they're going to say it's solid. I'm going to say, how does it feel? What's somebody going to say? Normally they say, it feels like a straw. I go, feels solid. Right? I wouldn't say that, I'm sorry. I would say, how does it feel? And they're going to say solid, or it feels like a straw. And I'm going to have them move back and forth. And I'm going to tell them, start slowing down. Start slowing down. And when they're at one side, I'm going to go real slow now and just stop. Now, it looks to them, and especially when you have other people around, when you say, just stop, they're going to stop within about 1 second of the time you say that. It's going to seem like a command, but it's also going to seem like you told them stop whenever you want. And they leave their finger, you go, you stopped wherever you wanted, is that okay? And they're only going to say, yeah, that's fine. And you're going to rub right there. Tell them rub. Can you feel it? How does it feel? Is it solid? Good. Move back and forth. Do you feel it getting warmer? You can completely get rid of patter here. Just have them keep rubbing, and then you're going to rub. Now, here's the only move, if you could even call it a move in the routine. When they take their finger off to rub, you're going to come in, and you're going to rub too. And as you bring it higher into view, your fingers, your left finger is simply going to twist. That's it. You're going to rub. You're going to focus in. You're going to zero in, and you twist. It's absolutely unnoticeable. It looks like you're rubbing in the same spot. And you rub, and you rub, and you really want to act this out as if something's happening. People can tell something's starting to happen. At that point, I'll grab, rip the paper, so that there's just paper right there. Keep rubbing. Whatever acting you want to do. As if it's burning. And then, at the end, get far away. Take that off, and you see that little string? That really sells it when you have those little strings coming off, because it looks like it just melted. You pull that off and hand it to them. Don't say a word. Here's the impromptu method for sizzle. This only requires a lighter or matches and a straw, sealed. First thing you're going to do, rub the paper around, loosen it up a little, and move the straw over as much to one end as possible. Just move it within the wrapper, pull out on one side. Grab the wrapper and rip the wrapper ever so slightly. Just like so. Now notice how from one side, from here you can see it slightly, barely. On this side you can't see anything. It looks completely sealed as it is. You're then going to push it back and slowly finesse the straw out. Be delicate here. You don't want to overly rip anything. Just like so, and the straw comes out. Now you can leave a part of the straw inside so you don't have to try and wriggle it back in later. Just leave it hanging out. Take a lighter, and like I said, I like to burn just a 1/4 of an inch to 1/2 inch off center. If you get a view underneath here, you can actually see it sizzling. You can see it when I start the burn. Now I'm going to burn, and I'm immediately going to blow on it and shape the burn. Now, the reason I'm blowing is to ensure that this is shaped properly, because it'll cool it down. The reason I'm shaping it is because when it burns, it'll naturally bubble up. That's going to give you rigid edges. The plastic from a straw, as soon as it burns, hardens almost instantly. If you blow on it, it really is instantly. And you see these little strings, hopefully you can see those. Those little strings that come out really sell the fact that it's melted later on. So I like to burn it a little bit more and add a little bit more strings if I can. I'll just get a little bit more fire, and I'll just touch it and just pull out a few more strings. Now that I've pushed everything in, I can go ahead and slide this right back inside. None the wiser. Kind of straighten everything back up. And at this point, I'll push the straw in, and I'll just push down on this part. Now, notice, you can almost not even tell that that's ripped. I mean, you would really have to come in close to notice that. From here, this looks like a sealed straw. And if you never let them see that side, well, you've got nothing to worry about. It looks sealed. If it's inside of a container and you pull it out, it's a sealed straw for all purposes. I've done it. I do it both instances with a completely sealed straw as well as one that's impromptu method. Both go over the same. Nobody's going to worry. You're going to destroy the evidence later right when you rip it off. So it's the same exact presentation. You're going to feel as you take it out, know where the spot is. I know it's right here. Same exact presentation. Have them move their finger back and forth very slowly. And like I said, this is a psychological maneuver. You're going to tell them to start moving it quicker and quicker. Now slow it down. Slow, nice and slow. And as soon as I get to one, and go nice and slow here for me and just stop. Okay, right there? Is that fine? And they go, yes. They're going to think that they told you where to stop. Trust me. At that point, you have them rub. Even if they're an inch off. Let's say, okay, I'm right here. There's my spot. Let's say that they stop me right there. Okay? So I come over and I start rubbing, right? And I start rubbing and I move it up. I just move that 1/4 inch over. You can't see it. You couldn't tell. There's no way you could tell. It looks like the exact same spot. The key is to not have them stop you right at this edge, because then you're in big trouble. So that's why you want them to go slow. And you say, now stop. Okay. At that point, you're going to rub, really wriggle, really sell the fact that something's happening. Zero in whatever your persona is, whatever your personality. If you want to make it seem like a mental thing where you're focusing your energy, if you want to start grimacing in pain, it's really up to you. Another thing, something I have not yet done, even though I own it, is to use a FISM flash, the old John Cornelius effect, where you have a light under you where you could snap it right there. It's as if something burst. For those of you out there that have that rip, really burn, and then right there, they're going to know something's wrong. And at that point, you can give it to them, or you can rip it off yourself and hand that out. That's just a moment of pure weirdness. And I like to maybe blow on it a little and just, it's a little hot still, just don't touch it yet. And you hand it to them and sell it. Make it seem like it's still hot. Normally I'll lick my finger afterwards and I'll just take it easy for a sec, kind of, don't overact it, but you know, whatever's right for you. That's Sizzle. This is really strong magic, very direct. All the best magic effects, in my opinion, are one that the spectator can tell you what happened or tell their friends what happened in one simple sentence. And in this case, the magician melted a sealed straw in my own hands. That's what they're going to remember. That's Sizzle. Here's a tip. With the recent release of Morgan Strebler's awesome routine, Liquid Metal, you can use this in combination. This is like the perfect addition. It's another example of melting or manipulating metal or objects with your mind. That's, completely impossible. And this fits right in. This is a stand-up item. This you can do anywhere while walking. Anywhere. Two quick ideas for you. One, you could have one prepared straw and one unprepared straw. Let's say, and then you magicians force one of them. Let's say they choose this one, you toss the other one out of the way as if you just picked up two. Let's say they choose the one that you're not using. Hey, if you have loops on you, you could do the bending straw. Another great effect. Once you do this effect, you can use what I like to term the Strebler subtlety, which is Morgan's effect where he blows on their finger. It really brings the spectator into the moment. Before they rub on it, you take their finger back and you blow on it. And you have them start rubbing there. And you say, I can feel it starting to happen. Can you feel that? Push down. Can you feel when you're pushing down? And they'll probably say, yes, I can feel that I'm pushing down. But the other spectators around them aren't going to know what they mean. They think, what are you feeling? What are you feeling? And then you take it from them. You go a little bit more. Yeah, you really did it. You got it started. I'm going to keep going. And it's going to seem as if they started the burn. And you're going to keep it going. You're going to start pushing down. And you're going to, as if, melt the rest. That's just a nice little touch. Grab their finger. Maybe blow on it. Add your own zest to it. Really play around with this routine. This is a reputation maker. This is something people will remember. Sizzle, my nizzle.